Welcome to r/Tales from Retail, where we share stories of your bosses, employees, or those interesting customers you see daily. Thank you so much for subscribing, likes, and supporting in the comments. Today's story consists of 3 parts. Part 1. Customer won't let me remove stock from shop floor. Here's a bit of backstory. I work in a chain shoe store. I'm a secondary supervisor and I'm only in charge when my manager and supervisor are both off. Now, on a Thursday, every store gets a list from our head office of stock they want us to send back to the warehouse for a variety of reasons. We call this recall. The recall can only be put through as a transfer the day before the scheduled delivery for that week. Our delivery just so happens to be a Thursday, so we usually have plenty of time to sort it out, and anything that needs doing is usually done by the Tuesday, ready for it to be boxed with a transfer note on the Wednesday. Now to the story. This happened in a week my supervisor was off, due to the school holidays. I was off the Monday and Tuesday, as I had worked the Sunday, which wasn't my normal shift. Anyway, I got a message from my manager Tuesday evening, explaining that she'd been unable to sort any of it out, as the shop had been extremely busy. I said it was okay and I would somehow manage. I absolutely hate recall when I'm in charge. It's extremely stressful to do and it's busy. I went in the next morning and went through my usual routine of getting the store ready to open. I finished this at about 8:50, so I had about 10 minutes before I had to open. Karen was already waiting outside, but I refused to open the doors before 8:58, as I don't get paid for those extra 10 minutes. I go about my jobs keeping a close eye on the time. Eventually, I open the doors and finish opening the shop. Karen storms in, obviously annoyed that I didn't open the shop sooner. Customers are usually grumpy at this time of morning, and 9 times out of 10 buy something that makes me think, why do you need that first thing in the morning? This Karen was no different, as she was looking at sandals. I started sorting out the recall. Most of it was sandals, as the company was starting to make way for winter stock. There was a lot of it, and I mean a lot, about 50 pairs of shoes. Had to be bagged, labeled, and boxed up, more than half of it sandals. Yup, you guessed it, right where Karen was looking. I decided to sort out the rest of recall, hoping that by the time I'd finished she would have gone, or bought something. Sorting the rest of recall took me about an hour, as I had to be on the till, help customers, and keep the shop tidy all on my own. Now at 10 a.m., Karen still hadn't bought anything, and was in the middle of trying some sandals on. I checked the shopping center, and it was getting pretty busy, and there was no way I could wait to do the recall. This is where the mess started. I started to remove some of the sandals. Karen came up to me and said, "Excuse me, I was looking at those." Me, "Sorry, I need to send these back to the warehouse." Karen, "Yes, but I was looking at them. Can't you do it later?" Me, "I'm quite happy to leave the ones you want to try, but I have to take the rest." Karen, "No, you'll get in my way." Me, "I'm sorry, I need to get it done as soon as possible, otherwise it'll get too busy." Karen, "If it gets busy, it can just be done tomorrow." Me, "No, it can't. If you need me, I'll be at the till." I walk away from her, not giving her a chance to respond. I keep going back and removing more sandals, until I have all of them on the list. This, however, does leave quite a few gaps, and Karen, being a typical Karen, complains. Karen, "How am I meant to shop for sandals when you've removed them all?" Me, "I'm sorry that you can't find what you're looking for, but we do have limited stock here. I can have a look on the till for you and show you pictures of stock I can order in for you." Karen, "What about those?" Points to the ones in the box. Me, "Sorry, they aren't part of our stock anymore. I did say if you wanted to try them on, I would leave the size with you, but you didn't ask." Karen, "I'm asking you now. They're in your stock, they're right there." Me, "I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I did tell you what I was doing when you spoke to me. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I can have a look if any of the nearby stores have what you want." Karen, "I want those." Me, "I'm sorry, they're not for sale. I waited for as long as possible." Karen, "I want to speak to the manager." Me, "I'm in charge today. I can give you the customer service number if you wish to talk to someone else." Karen, "That's a lie." She takes the number anyway and storms back out of the shop, knocking my colleague's little girl over on the way out. I get a phone call from customer service about 30 minutes later, asking my side of the story, but nothing came of it. Customer won't let me remove stock from shop floor part 2. Hi, I'm back again after another encounter with Karen. If you haven't read the first story, here's the link. First story. I noticed in the first story a lot of commenters were worried about my working conditions, but I assure you I've looked into it. A lot of people have, and it's perfectly legal. As happy as I am for all the support, please no more comments about working conditions. Backstory. So on Wednesday, I was in charge of the store again. Everything was going great until we had to expand on the boots that we had hung in the wall. We got about halfway when we ran out of hanging equipment. Now, I rang my manager, and she said she would order some more on Friday, but to do what we could to fill it. We managed to fill it, back scavenging some hanging equipment from our back to school bag range. But we only just managed, which meant we were in trouble if we needed to extend any of the other hanging stock. Story. So today my manager ordered the hanging equipment we needed, but it takes a few weeks to get to us sometimes. So we're having some really weird summer showers and storms, where I am at the moment, and boot and welly sales have skyrocketed today. So we ended up having a small gap on the men's boots, which is not a huge problem, but if we sell even one boot over the weekend, it'll need to be re-merchandised, due to the time of year and men's boots being in short supply. The only problem is the only stock we could expand on is our younger kids' school shoes, which you can probably guess are hanging, and it's a major move. Foreseeing a possible problem, my manager decided to shelve our last chance to buy, which is a section where what we got out is all we got left of that stock. It's usually about 1 to 2 pairs of shoes. Now we can hang a lot more stock than we can shelve it, so some shoes did have to be taken off. My manager gave me a brief description on how she wanted it to be laid out and left me to it. My manager was on and off the shop floor grabbing things for customers, getting stock to fill the shop, etc. I was taking the shoes off the hanging equipment and putting them into a bucket when Karen walked in. I think I groaned a little bit when I saw her, thinking of why did she have to come in when I was doing this job. At least my manager was there if Karen tried to start anything. Now, I hadn't told my manager what happened last time, as I had completely forgot to. My fault, I know. Really need to try and stop my memory from turning to mush. I kept an eye on Karen as she browsed the sandals again, and noticed this time she had a teenage girl with her, possibly her daughter. I kept doing my job and was in the process of removing the hanging equipment and stripping the unit bare, ready for the shelves. One of the pieces got stuck and really wouldn't come out of its socket. I even tried whacking it with one of the back bars with no luck. In this time, I had completely lost where Karen and her company was. I was completely engrossed in trying to remove the stuck piece, when I heard this voice behind me. Karen, excuse me, could you not do that? I can't shop if you keep removing the shoes. I looked up to answer, only to see Karen standing at the side of the buckets. Karen, oh, it's you. Me, completely ignored her remark. I'm getting this unit ready for shelves. You're welcome to look through the buckets if you wish. I went back to my task of getting the last piece removed, which came away pretty easily to my delight. Yes, I said delighted. Karen, stop ignoring me. Me, I'm not ignoring you, I just explained the situation to you. If you don't want to look in the buckets, that's fine. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna put these in the back. I take my hanging equipment and put it away, while grabbing the shelves, other shelving equipment, a hammer, and a box. It takes me about 2 runs to do this, as the shelves are pretty heavy when you're carrying 12 of them. When I come back out, Karen is looking at our sandal slippers, which are on sale. I start putting the arms that hold the shelves in their sockets and start whacking them in with the hammer. It's a little noisy but has to be done, otherwise it just falls down. Karen, can you stop that awful racket? Me, sorry, it'll be over soon. Sorry for the inconvenience. Karen, no, stop right now. I sighed and apologized and said that I just needed a few more minutes to get the remaining shelves in place. She was not happy at this at all. The girl with looked like she'd like to be anywhere else. My manager had noticed the situation, but thought I was dealing with it so didn't intervene. I finished shelving the unit, much to Karen's pleasure, as she came around to moan at me some more. Karen, you need to think about your customers. How dare you treat customers like that? Me, I'm sorry you feel that way. You can talk to the manager if you wish, she's in today. Karen was actually ignoring me at this point and was looking at the shelves and the buckets like she was trying to put 2 and 2 together. Her eyes went wide and her face red. Karen, how dare you lie to me? Me, excuse me? Karen, you said you weren't removing shoes. Me, no I didn't. I said I was getting it ready for shelving and that you could look through the buckets. Again, you're still welcome to look through the buckets. I'll only be sorting out them and putting a few extras in the back. They'll still be in our stock and available for you to purchase if you wish to. Karen, how dare you lie to me? I want to speak to the manager now. Me, of course. I went to get my manager, who was getting stock to fill the shop. She told me to go on my lunch while she sorted the situation. Apparently, Karen tried to make up this story, that I tried to hit her with the hammer, which thank God my manager didn't believe. But Karen also brought up the previous encounter and made it sound like I was trying to snatch the shoes right from her hands. A call to head office was made, to which they advised my manager to ban Karen from the shop for harassing me, as they had the notes from our previous encounter, which didn't add up with Karen's current version of events last week. I got a telling off for not informing my manager about the previous encounter with Karen. Karen will also have to have a meeting with the center management at a later date. I'll keep you informed. Customer won't let me take stock from the shop floor part 3. Hey guys, I know I said I'd give you an update about what happened to Karen after my last encounter with her, but I've had no news, and she's been allowed to shop in the center again, hence why this event is even taking place. Okay, so this happened last week, when I was supposed to be off for the week. I got a call on the Monday from my manager, asking if I could cover for her on the Tuesday. She was having problems walking, due to an injury in her knee. I reluctantly agreed, as it was my dad's birthday and had made plans. I went in the following morning and did absolutely nothing, other than turn the till on until it was time to open. As soon as the clock hit 9, I opened the store and began looking at the jobs that were left for me to get done. The main job was again to get recall off the shop floor. I went through the recall list to see what shoes needed to be removed from the shop floor, and started to take some off Dolly's shoes that were placed near the door. As I was taking off the shoes, I hear someone say, "You're doing it again." I turned slightly and noticed Karen outside the shop glaring at me. Me, excuse me? Karen, you're removing shoes. Me, yes, they're going back to the warehouse so they can be sent to another store. We're not selling enough of them. Karen, well, you won't sell them if you keep removing them. Put them back. We hadn't sold a pair of these shoes in nearly a month, hence why they were going back. Me, I'm sorry, this is part of my job. If you have a complaint, feel free to call customer services. At this point, I got an order from a customer on the till, placed the shoes in a tub, and went to collect the customer's order from the shop floor. I turned to go back to till to make sure I have everything for the order and see Karen taking the shoes from the bucket. I mean all of them. Me, excuse me, can you please put those back in the tub? Karen, no, I'm putting them back, which should be your job. She sees the shoes and bag in my arms. Karen, you're doing it again. How dare you remove more stuff? Me, someone has already paid for these. I'm making sure they don't get accidentally sold. Karen, I don't believe you. You don't have any proof. Me, I do have proof, but it contains customer details, so I'm unable to show it to you, as it's against the law and company policy. Karen, you're lying. Put those back right now. I was getting fed up. I was in a bad mood already due to being in work when I was meant to be off again, but she was pushing me to my limit. Me, no, they belong to a customer, and please can you put those shoes back in the bucket? Karen, no, they belong where they were. Now put those items back or are you deaf as well as stupid? I ignored her, accepted the order and put the items in a bag and stapled the receipt to the bag. At this point, I was torn whether to put the order in the back or wait Karen out. Turns out I didn't have to do either. Karen dropped the shoes she was holding and tried to come behind the till. Me, excuse me, you can't come back here. Karen, I'm just stopping you from removing stuff from the shop. She reaches for the customer's bag, but I step between her and the bag. Karen, get out of my way. You can't even do your job properly. That stuff belongs on the shelves. Me, no it doesn't. It's been paid for already. Karen, you're lying. She tries to push me aside, but there's not a lot of room, so she fails miserably. Luckily, a center cleaner was walking past, saw the commotion and went to get the center manager, who we'll call G. G came into the store and asked what was going on. Karen, she's removing stuff from the displays. G, she's well within her right to do that. That's what she needs to do. Karen, she's even lying about it. She's saying customers have bought things and is trying to remove them. I point to the bag on the floor, with the receipt clearly stapled to it. G asked Karen to go with him to his office. I had to phone my manager, area manager, and notify customer service in case she phoned to complain, which took all morning. Unfortunately, the police weren't called to this situation, and she isn't banned from the center, but she is banned from the store. I hope it's over. I hope you enjoyed the story, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe or hit the like button to support this video. Have a good day.